Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the 5x7 in the hoop bow front zip bag. There is no lining on this bag, so it'll be a quick and easy one. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you can get more notifications, and comments are more than welcome down below. Let's get started. So here's all the materials we're going to need. Our 5x7 hoop with a tearaway stabilizer, top and our bottom front piece of our bag, our zipper, our back piece to our bag, and our piece to make our bow, and our center piece for the bow. And I have my scissors and I have my printout of my directions. And I'm going to show you how to do the center of the bow. So I have my bow piece, which is the 8 by 3.5 inches, and then I have my center piece, and I'm going to show you what I do with my center piece, and I'm going to take you to the sewing machine. So for the center of our bow, we're going to take the strip and we're going to fold it in half, and before that I marked 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to actually sew up the line 3/8 of an inch, and this you have to do on your sewing machine. And I'm going to go back and forth a couple times to make sure this stays really good. So I go back over about 4 or 5 times. Yeah, we have our piece, 3/8 of an inch. Sew it up the middle a couple times, and we're actually going to take this now and we're going to cut it off so that there's about 1/8 of an inch left. These are not my favorite scissors, but they were close by. So, and I'm going to trim, and I normally trim most of it, and then I take my lighter and I actually use the lighter to kind of singe it a little bit. The threads kind of curl up and ball up at the ends, so that kind of keeps them from fraying or coming loose. So that works. Then I'm going to take this little loop and I'm going to turn it the right side out. So now I have the loop, which is the center of my bow. And that's the center for my bow. And how the light is turned inside out. And now I will go and show you how to make your bow. Okay. So I have my center piece all done, and I'm now going to make the actual bow part. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to fold it long ways with the good side facing out. So I fold it in half. Then I'm going to do like an accordion fold, and I'm going to do 3 folds, evenly folds. 1 up, and I'm going to go 1 down. So I always want to end up with the one going down. And we can crease the bow a little bit to get that. You want to make sure that the center is what's going to be our most important part of creased. And while I'm holding it, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it up and 1 down. So I've got even folds, and I'm going to hold that. Little tricky part, so we're going to hold this together, and we're going to at least get one end of it. And these folds are approximately 1/2 inch folds, so I thought I'd measure it real quick and let you know it's approximately 1/2 inch. So we're going to try to do this. I'm going to show you. So I'm holding the center, so this will be our bow, but we need to get our center piece on. So I'm going to follow this up to the top while I'm holding it in my hand. I'm going to hold it and grip it down here, and I'm going to grab the top up here and squeeze it together really good. Pinch it between your fingers, hold on to it, and we're going to take our middle piece, we're going to slide it and guide it on there. And a little tricky depending on what vinyl you're using, but it is measured so it'll fit exactly. And there we go, we're guiding it, got it through, And we're going to pull it down to the center of our bow. There we go. So the sew part, the seam, is in the back of the bow. We have the nice part in the front, and when we fan fold, that way we know that our nice edges are here and that they're not sticking up this way, and we see the back of our vinyl. So that's why there's three folds, and the last one will always have that raw edge facing down. So that's our bow. That'll be in the center of our bag. When we get it on there, it's going to come across like this, and we can use any color that you would like. You can contrast and do something different. I just happen to have all the same sizes here. So here we go. We're all set. We'll take you to the sewing machine. Alright, we're at the machine now. Got all my pieces ready to go. I have my pattern in my sewing machine, or embroidery machine, sorry. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew out the step 1, which is our placement line for our zipper and the dimensions of the bag. Okay. Now we're going to place our zipper, and for the more advanced, that's what I'm about to do and show you. Those who are not quite sure or want to do this with their machine, they're afraid they might hit it, just go ahead and center your zipper and tape it down on each side. With this zipper bag, or my zipper bags, I always have the zipper opening on the right side of my bags. I have a reason for that, and I will explain that in another video as to why I do that. But my patterns and all my prayer scissor bags, the zipper is opening on your right side. So I'm going to line up the center line here, and that's the center of my zipper. And I've used black to show you on here as a contrast, and then I've also, the rest of the bag is dark. I'm going to use white to contrast so you'll be able to see the stitching and where it's going. So when I do a zipper bag or pouch, any of those, no matter what size it is, I take this metal piece and I move it inside my line, just inside, enough that I know it's not going to hit. I know my machine, so I know where it's at. And I'm going to tape it down really good. And why I do that, you don't have to, but it's just something I do, so it's just a little tip on my side, is so that it won't come off, or the bag, if it happens to the threads come apart or something at this side of the bag, your zipper's not going to pull off or fall off. It's got that metal piece still there, so the zipper I know for sure is going to stay there, and all I have to do if that happens to unstitch here, I don't have to worry about the zipper, and I just have to put it back in the sewing machine and sew it back up. So that's part of my reasoning of leaving that metal piece there. And I move it inside the bag and about 1/8 of an inch from the line to the inside. And then I'm going to line it up, making sure that the zipper, center of that zipper is on that center line that is in the middle. If you want, you can put tape in the middle if you want to really make sure you've got the middle exact. You can always put tape there to keep it if you want. And I tape the other end. There we go. And we're all set. I'm going to place it back in the machine. Sew out the next step, and all the rest of the steps are going to be in white, only for you to see the contrast of where it's sewing. So it has sewn out the tacking down of our zipper, so that's tacked down, which is perfect. And then I'm going to grab my next pieces of vinyl, and I'm going to put my bottom piece and my top piece on. And I'm going to line them up and center it, and I'm going to lay them right underneath the teeth of the zipper. And I'm going to use my tape, and I'm going to put the top and the bottom on at the same time. I do things so that you take less steps. I'm going to tape them. And make sure they go straight across, and that when you cut your vinyl you had straight cuts. Alright, we're going to go back in our machine. And we're going to sew out our next, which will be tacking down at the zipper. I'm using contrasting so you can see where it's tacking down. Alright, now for the next step. Tack down. You can see where we're at, right? Zipper. The next part it's going to do is I'm going to put it back in the hoop, or I'm sorry, I'm going to put it back in the machine, and what it's going to do is now sew out and tack down. So I'm making sure that my vinyl is all flat and straight, and my corners are tacked down. And the next step is going to go around the whole bag and keep these vinyl pieces down. Take my little pieces of tape off. I don't need them anymore since it's in the hoop tacked down. And I'm going to be using those pieces of tape again. Alrighty. Alright, so the next part I'm going to do is now tack down my bow. So this is the important part of where it's going to tack down and how you place your bow. And I'm going to center it and make sure there's enough hanging over on each side so that the ends of the bow are actually going to be on the lines and past the lines, because these lines are going to go straight down. And this is the part where you want to really make sure it's taped down well. This one's a little bit easier than the 4x4 bag. And you want to make sure it's really flat. Tape down the ends really well. Masking tape, dollar store tape, blue tape, any kind of tape you want. Alright, so I have them taped down really well from top to bottom, top to bottom. It's going to go so straight. Back in. One more time, make sure we're flat. And this will be the tack down for the side of the bows. Alright, and we can take our tape off. And that last little step that it did over here by the zipper, that's where we were going to tack down, which I totally forgot about, sorry. That'll be our D-ring or the lobster claw to put your wrist there. Okay, so we'll put our D-ring here, and the D-ring is going to make sure that that it's on the inside of your bag. D-ring is on the inside of your bag. And we're going to tape it down. And the D-ring was made with a piece of vinyl of the same type. And it was only like an 1.5 inch piece, and then folded a half over your D-ring. I glued it a little bit to keep it tacked down. And then just tape it down, and that way it's not going to hit. So the next step will be to the next step will be to actually tack it down. That might be a little bit tough. You're going through a couple layers there. So this part, maybe if you don't want to use that many pieces of vinyl, you can use a piece of the rose grain ribbon will work there if you don't want to go with all that vinyl. So I'm going to leave the tape, and this is the last part. So this is where we're actually going to undo our zipper. And my zipper happened to be a little long. I didn't have a 9-inch zipper. And we're going to unzip all the way. And then I actually put it underneath my tape a little bit and then tape down. That way the tape keeps the zipper from flipping up by accident or getting stuck under the pressure foot. And I'm just going to tape my zipper together so it stays kind of nice there. So we've opened the zipper all the way. And this is the next part. This is our last, and this is where we're going to place our back piece. So this is where we're going to really want to tape this part down good too and smash it down. And we're going to guide this a little bit as we go. So the sides that really need taping, the top and bottom aren't as bad, but the sides really need to be taped down. That's where our bow pulls up. Alright, so we're making sure we're taped down really well. Alright, last step for this part, yay! Corners. Go. Pop it back in the machine. And our last step, just going to sew all around. Make sure you undo your zipper. Alright, we're done. Done, and it's sewn all the way around. And I always say before we make sure or take it out, we want to flip it over. Everything looks good. Nothing, we didn't have a back piece, we don't have to worry about it. But everything seems to be good. Nothing flipped over. All stitches are correct. Now I know I can take it out of my hoop. So I'll meet you at the cutting table. Alright, we're ready to unhoop. We're going to take our tape off. Our hoop. Side. We're going to tear off our stabilizer. And I'm going to trim my threads, big long ones, gathered ones. So I cut them down short, and then I take my lighter, and that's where I just kind of go along really quick, and they shrivel up. The polyester thread, it's like, you know, kind of like plastic, nylon. Polyester is like a nylon, so the lighter's gonna help, it'll melt them and shrink them up, and that way it keeps them from undoing. There we go. I'm gonna take my pinking shears, and I start with my corner. I'm gonna get kind of really close to my corner because I gotta make sure it's gonna pop out. You gotta have really good shears for this. You know, pinking shears are not easy with vinyl. And I always like to leave the end of my zipper a little bit longer. And cut. Alright, and we're ready for the big reveal. Our zipper's open. That's why we make sure it is. We have tape kind of holding it down. And I start with the upper corners. And I pop those out first. Makes things really easy that way. You pop your top corners out first. And then the rest of the bag will follow and roll out. That's unlike most things when you turn. When you turn things, if you start at the inside where you're turning and pop that out first, the rest of it starts to come out really easy. And we want to make sure that our bow is on the front of the bag, not on the back. Push out our corners really well. I made the corners round on this pattern so that they look nice when they popped out. They weren't trying to get a square edge to come out. You got a nice little round corner. And if you want, sometimes to make it easier on turning, if it's a little tougher, you just iron lightly over top. You don't want to press it down because the vinyl will melt onto the bow. So you're just going to heat it a little bit, or a blow dryer, a heating gun. You don't want to melt it too much, just enough so that it'll be, you know, pliable to turn. But I used a vinyl that had like a flannel felt-like on the inside, so I wanted the little texture on the inside of this. And there we go, the zipper. And there's our in the hoop bow front bag. And this can slide a little bit to be in the middle. And there we go. There's the back. You press it a little bit. Put it under a book. You know, the edges will keep it down. And the bow front in the hoop zipper pouch. So you have your 5x7 in the hoop bow zipper pouch. This is how I finish off my bags. I put a zipper pull on it with a charm, or if I happen to have something that matches the bag, I can put that at the end. So I just put a little zipper pull on one end. And I actually made my own wristlet straps. I have a video on that. And so I have my strap, and I have my little charm. So everyone was wondering why I put my zipper that way, and this is why I put my zipper this way. When the bag hangs down, the zipper pull stays down. It keeps your bag closed. Instead of having the zipper at the top and your wristlet, your zipper sometimes can just start to open and pull your bag if you have a weak zipper. So I have the theory of having the zipper at the bottom with a tag, and that zipper will stay closed. And the wristlet at the top. So this was the 5x7 in the hoop bow front zipper pouch. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get more notifications on more fun videos. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Love to hear from you. Thanks.